to the very second episode of the Space Show. Yeah! Okay, so in the last episode, I left off with the next episode is going to be about, is it possible to go faster than the speed of light? So in this episode, we're going to discuss that. Except this time, we're going to have a very special guest with us in this show. Hello, this is Nayu. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, so do you think it's possible to go faster than the speed? Oh, the camera can't really see you. Oh, there we go.
Maybe not.
Okay, well, cool.
50-50.
So, 50-50, yeah, that's funny. Okay, so in this episode, we're going to be talking about, is it possible to go faster than the speed of light? Okay, so, see you in a little while. Okay, so hello again. Like I said before, in this episode, we're going to be talking about, is it possible to go faster than the speed of light? And your thinking is, oh, of course it is. We know that from 1995 TV shows. Yes, but that's science fiction. Star Wars and Star Trek are science fiction. That means they're pretty scientific, but there's a little fiction part in it.
So don't believe everything they say.
Right. So, well, like in Star Wars, when on the Millennium Falcon, when Han Solo says to Chewbacca, hit the hyperdrives, and then they go at light speed and all the stars go whizzing by. And in Star Trek, where Picard says, helm go to warp H, and then all the stars start going by and whatever. Okay. So, but first of all, if you even got to the speed of light, what would it look like out the window? Okay, so in this part of the video, we're going to be talking about what would it actually look like if you got to the speed of light in the first place. Well, all of us have seen the movies where Han Solo tells Chewie to hit the warp drive and go to hyperspace.
In Star Wars.
Yeah, and all of us were old enough to remember every time that Kirk says to Scotty, warp drive, Mr. Scott. But if you even got to the speed of light in the first place, would it look like that? And the answer is no, it wouldn't.
Sorry, too bad.
A big disappointment for George Lucas and a relief for people who don't like going in space. So, why would it not look like that is the question that a lot of Star Wars fans are asking right now. So, why is it that when they go on the Millennium Falcon and they go to 100.02% of the speed of light, all the stars go whizzing by, and now you're telling me if I did that in real life, nothing would happen? Why does that sound so weird? So, in the next part of the video, we're going to be finding out why it wouldn't even look like. In this part of the video, we're going to be talking about if you even manage to get to the speed of light in the first place, why wouldn't the stars start zooming by like they do aboard the Millennium Falcon? Now the answer is, this diagram is the answer. So, you see here's the sun and here's the earth. Now imagine your spaceship is on the surface of the sun and somehow it's plasma resistant and does not vaporize and ionize. Now, you hit the light speed engines heading straight for Earth at 300,000 kilometers a second. That's the speed of light. Now, but as you can see in the diagram, there are 150 million kilometers to cover. So 150 million into 300,000 is still quite a lot of time. Yes, in fact, it takes exactly 8 minutes and 19 seconds to get from the sun to the Earth at the speed of light. And so, unless there was a star here, 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 and here for you to pass by as you were going at the speed of light, then you wouldn't be able to see anything. And we know that all those extra stars along here do not exist. And anyway, even if they did, it would take so much longer to get to distances at the speed of light in real life as it takes in sci-fi things like that. But then that's how they go faster than the speed of light. We're going to be talking about that later. We don't know if it's even possible to get to the speed of light in the first place, let alone go faster than it. But then there's another possibility for deep space travel. We all remember in Star Trek The Next Generation when Commander Riker says, Riker to Enterprise, 2 to beam up, and then the transporter beam starts energizing.
If you have seen it.
Yes. So then wouldn't you be able to do something like that in real life? The answer is maybe you might be able to do something like that. In the TV show called Fabric of the Cosmos, which aired just last year, it stars a scientist called Brian Greene, who talks about lots of different scientific ideas. Yes. And in the third episode, he talks about the possibility of, is it actually possible to use a transporter? And the answer is, it might just be possible, because if there are 2 different transporter pads in 2 different places, and the person that's about to be transported steps on one of the transporter pads, and one transporter pad sends the molecular structure of this person to the other transporter pad, and then they disintegrate the person and recreate it on the other end of the transporter so that the person's still living. So that seems like pretty awesome travel. But of course, to send the coordinates by radio, well, radio travels at the speed of light, right?
Yes.
So in order to beam from 2 faraway planets, you would have to wait for the signal from one planet to get to the other planet. And even if you didn't wait, it would be a little while before you arrived on the other planet.
Yes, it would.
Yes, and then you'd be missing out on 424 years.
Oh no.
Yes, but some people might say, well, while you were in the beam, wouldn't you see the stars zooming by? Well, first of all, no. We already talked about that the beam would only be traveling at the speed of light. And second, you wouldn't even exist during the time it takes to transport. Remember I said they disintegrate your body and then recreate it?
Ah.
Yes, but what if you use the beam to clone yourself? Imagine if you stepped onto the transporter pad and the one transporter pad sends the coordinates to another transporter pad but doesn't disintegrate the body. And the person steps off the transporter pad and meanwhile the beam's still going. 424 years later, the beam's still going. And then it arrives at the other planet, and then another copy of this person is being recreated on that end. So that would be cloning long distance. So, but then there's another why transporting to faraway planets might not work, is because if you either beamed yourself or you clone yourself, either one, it might not work. Because you know why it might not work?
How come?
It might not work because 424 light years away, or any number of light years away, it could be this planet you're transporting to, it could be 300, who knows? It could be 1,000. And anyway, whatever distance it is, it still might not work unless it's in our solar system. So, the alien beings on the other side of the transporter on this faraway planet, there are some 300 light years away. And imagine that they start sending the transporter beam in the year 2050, okay? Now 300 years later, it's the year 2350, and the beam is just arriving at this alien planet. But during the 300 years that have passed, let's say that these aliens have a super nuclear war and make themselves extinct. Now there's no one on the other end to recreate the body. Oh no! So that's why it might not work. Okay, so now we can be discussing, well, it's probably not possible to get faster than the speed of light, but why does getting very close to the speed of light have to do with time travel?